They say that talking to yourself is a sign of insanity, but I think there's only a few answer back, right? Right. This is Talking to Myself, an art advice podcast where I use anecdotes from my life to try to make myself a better artist, and hopefully a better person. Other people might find this useful as well, but mostly I'm just trying to avoid paying for therapy. This week on the podcast, I thought I would talk about patience as a virtue. As usual, this is mostly directed at myself. I've got a problem with patience occasionally, especially with my impending midlife crisis and general anxiety over performance and achievement. My patience with myself is at most times extremely thin. Here's a little anecdote. This actually happened today. I was driving somewhere today, and just as a side note, I live in Australia. They use the metric system. So when I say 50 kilometers per hour, I am sorry. If you don't use the metric system, I apologize. I don't have the brain power right now to translate that to miles per hour. It's not much. It's slow. But that's the speed limit. So I was going about the speed limit, say 50 kilometers per hour, maybe even 48 to 55, somewhere in there. And this is on a small back road, which is one of the reasons why it's that speed limit in a suburb. And I actually got passed by another car in what would be considered a fairly dangerous way. It technically was a passing zone. There was a broken line in the middle there, dotted line instead of a solid line. But it was with the danger of oncoming traffic. This person had been tailgating me for about 5 minutes. They clearly were in a great hurry to get ahead of me for some reason, and I understand. I know what it's like being in traffic with someone. It always seems like the person in front of you is going about 5 kilometers, I know, slower than you want to go. But I was going the speed limit. I was going as fast as I'm supposed to go. Can't really go any faster. And there are often police patrols on this road because of this activity. Didn't happen anything with the cops today, but this person whips around me and takes off, just gone. They're probably going about 60 or 70 kilometers per hour, which, if you'll recall, is much faster than they're supposed to be. I don't mean to be an old fuddy-duddy and not a cool kid or whatever, but that's too damn fast on that road. And the road goes to a roundabout or a circle, traffic circle, if you're, again, not from British-controlled areas. So I get there, and the guy had just turned. So he wasn't very far ahead of me. He saved about 30 seconds by whipping around me like that before we both got to a traffic light down the street a little bit. And I was thinking to myself, what good is that 30 seconds going to do you? You're still in the car. You still spent the time in the car. The extra attention it took you to do that and the risk you were taking to do that, it just doesn't seem like it's worth it to me. Now, maybe it's because I'm getting older and that kind of thing, I guess it adds up over time. If you drive like a maniac all the time, you can save a little bit, maybe the whole week you can save up 5 minutes or something. But honestly, I waste so much time as it is. I waste whole days now, weekends and whatnot. Maybe that's why older people seem so sedentary, is because we just take it a little easier than we used to. And this is not something that I'm happy with. I don't like wasting time. I don't usually recognize I'm doing it until I've already done it and the time's gone, which is a major problem. And as I said before, I have a lot of patience issues with myself because I want to start having what amounts to an art career. And it just doesn't seem to be happening fast enough. Or at all. But what I have to try to remember, and this is the part of the podcast where I talk to my future self directly. So, future self, listen while you're saying it, because you're not going to listen back to these, because I know you're too lazy. The same way that guy didn't get that far ahead of me, being impatient with yourself during the art thing is not going to get you any further along any faster. Not really. Especially with something that takes training and practice, like getting better at art or getting better at marketing, which is another major stumbling block in my art career. I think I'm at a point where my art is of a quality that would sell somewhere. It's not the best in the world, clearly, but it's not so bad that no one would ever consider buying it. People do buy it occasionally. But the problem I'm having is either I'm not getting in front of the right people or I'm not getting in front of enough people altogether. So that's a separate issue to work out. But getting angry because things aren't happening fast enough and taking what amounts to stupid risks is not going to help me or you, future self, at all. You need to pay attention, be focused, motivate yourself with the little achievements you get as you go rather than focusing on how hard and far away your major goals are, or you're going to give up and not do anything. You want to move a mountain with a spoon, you can't be disconcerted because you can't do it in a day. It is technically possible to move a mountain with a spoon. I can think of several ways, especially if the spoon's made out of fissionable material for a nuclear bomb. But that's beside the point. Future self, don't get so impatient with yourself. Relax a little bit. This is supposed to be art. You have to be able to create things of quality that you believe in. And if you don't believe in them and you don't focus on their creation, they're not going to be of quality to be worth noticed, even if you do manage to get some eyes on them. You're representing yourself with this stuff, this art. So stop rushing, calm down, focus on making the best art you can, and also promoting it the best you can. And eventually, you'll come to a crossroads where those two things get to a critical mass, and then you'll be able to consider it at least a partial career. I mean, that's the only path I can see ahead of me now. So it's important. It's a long way to go, too. So it's important to remain patient about this. And don't speed. The cops will catch you. There's an element of luck involved in that, and I've never been lucky that way. So future self, don't speed. You'll be an idiot if you speed, especially on that road. All right, well, hopefully this helps other people. I don't know if it does or not. I hope it does. If you're wondering about your progress not being good enough or something like that, just stay the course. Keep working. Keep your head down. Nose to the grindstone, all that stuff. Basically mutilate yourself with your head hanging down. I don't know what that saying even means, nose to the grindstone. I mean, that sounds like a really bad idea. Even if your job is to sharpen things, why would you put your nose on the grindstone? Do you need a sharp nose? Would it just grind your face down to nothing? Are faceless knife sharpeners more prolific and have better careers? I don't understand the nature of that phrase, but I'm not going to do that. Stay the course. Keep working at it. Don't become discouraged because things seem to be taking too long. That's mostly advice for myself, advice for everybody. Hopefully it helps. Thank you all for listening. I really appreciate you being here. Special thanks to my patrons on Patreon. You guys are the reason I'm doing these. And you are the shiniest people I know. I mentioned before there's going to be some changes in the Patreon structure soon. There'll be some more products on there, some more things you can get, regardless of your level of contribution. Just to sort of beef up the Patreon, I'm going to start offering more art-based things, not just this podcast. But early access is still going to be included, so if you dig in the podcast, you can get here a week earlier, just like they do now. At any rate, take care, be patient with yourself, and I'll see you next time.